Tyreek Hill plays the Chiefs this year. That was another topic that came up during his visit with Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. Here's Hill's thoughts on getting back together with the team that he's the one who chose to end the relationship.
And when the Miami Dolphins come to Arrowhead Stadium this year, guess what we gonna do? Guess what we gonna do? I hate to say it, man. I hate to throw up the peace sign against y'all. I hate to do it. But guess what? I'm gonna be y'all worst enemy that day.
Chris Jones had something to say about that. He said, may God bless him. And then Tyreek Hill says, he has blessed me, but I'm crack block you. You're so little, or you're too little. That's funny. It's good that they go back and forth about it. It makes it entertaining. And Tyreek Hill slips into, we talked about wrestling earlier this week. Tyreek Hill slips into trash talk that borders on the phony wrestling bravado where somebody's getting themselves all cranked up. Remember who was it? Was it Eli Apple? When he,
everybody
I
does
owe
that to
you.
Eli Apple, though.
The cheetah, like he slipped into, like he's getting ready to go face him in a wrestling ring. I mean, that's good. That makes it fun. That makes it exciting. But I wouldn't write the check with the Chiefs as the opponent because the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. But that'll be a great game this year. Chiefs Dolphins. It's gonna be a lot of great games. Schedule will be out before we know it, and that probably is going to be a primetime game, maybe a second short week game for both of those teams. So Amazon will get some better numbers this year, and that will deliver some good numbers if it happens.
Wow, you went like 3 steps ahead. No, we don't know what the schedule is. That's why it's kind of funny that it's like, oh man, he's trash talking Kansas City for a game that we know is going to happen, but we don't know when it's going to happen. And so we don't really know. I mean, Tyreek Hill may not even play in that game. We don't know. We don't know who their quarterback is going to be in that game. We don't know if Tua Tagovailoa is going to be healthy. We talk about, 3 years and out for Tyreek Hill. What do we know about their quarterback situation? It could be Mike White, facing the Chiefs this year, which I don't know. That wouldn't necessarily always be a bad thing based on what I think about Mike White. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, the Chiefs won that trade. They won the Super Bowl already. So they won the trade. I don't know. It's great that the Dolphins have him, and it's great that Tyreek Hill got paid. And I guess you could call it a win-win in many ways. But if the Dolphins, don't win the Super Bowl and the Chiefs do, then don't the Chiefs kind of automatically win that trade?
He made comments yesterday about once he saw what Christian Kirk got in free agency when he went from the Cardinals to the Jaguars, that basically there was no way I was going to let that guy make more money than me. That was when he wanted an extension. In the past, his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, has explained that Tyreek Hill decided after Devontae Adams got his deal upon being traded from the Packers to the Raiders. That was the moment that accelerated the efforts to get Tyreek Hill an extension. Look, that just blurs over everything Tyreek Hill said last year. He was unhappy with the number of footballs that were coming his way in the 2021 season, and I still firmly believe he saw what Cooper Kupp was doing. He saw that Cooper Kupp was threatening all-time reception and yardage records, and he thought, I could do that too if I would just have enough opportunities. Why am I not getting more opportunities? I think he became a pain in the butt for the Chiefs, and they got to the point where they decided, look, it's time to move on. It's just time to move on. It's a stressor that we don't need. And it never boiled over while the relationship existed. It was after the fact, months after the fact, that Tyreek Hill peeled back the curtain a little bit and made it clear that he wasn't happy. And it didn't make any sense when he complained about his touches because he had career highs in targets and receptions in 2021, his final year with the Kansas City Chiefs. So you're right. It paid off for the Chiefs in large part because Patrick Mahomes took full ownership of the responsibility to get the new receivers ready, and he did. Took them down to Texas, got to know them, took notes, called the Chiefs, let Andy Reid know what guys can and can't do, who's good at this, who's good at that, and they hit the ground running, and they won the Super Bowl. So how can the Chiefs feel bad about it? They picked up extra draft pick compensation. They removed a guy who had a problem with being there, and they avoided having to pay him a ton of money. For every team that is paying a receiver huge money, there's another team saying, we'll just go to the draft and get somebody that way. We're not going to pay huge money to this guy who may be getting closer and closer to the point where he isn't the dominant receiver he's been. So you're right. The Chiefs did win that trade. And with every year that the Dolphins don't win a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill, and they only got 3 left, if we believe what he said, then they didn't win that trade.
Right. And you know what's interesting too, Mike? I mean, it wasn't just the draft. It was knowing who is available in free agency and structuring that and getting, maybe shorter term deals with some guys that can really help you. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster was a really, really huge part of that offense last year. I mean, just big as Travis Kelce is, and I'm sure will continue to be as a target for Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster made some huge catches for them. And so him going to the Patriots, I think, is going to be something that Kansas City is going to have to learn how to deal with. They're going to have to figure out who's going to be that other guy that you can absolutely depend on in a gotta have it situation if Travis Kelce, is the usual first option, is not available, because Juju Smith-Schuster kind of was that guy last year.
And I don't know that Odell Beckham Jr. will be that guy if he even joins the Chiefs, but I have to think that the Chiefs are lurking and waiting for the right moment to make their move, and maybe it will be after the draft. I think at this point, any team that is in need of a receiver and thinking about Odell Beckham Jr. needs to see how many receivers they have when the draft ends, and then maybe they regroup and make a run at OBJ. But I feel like the Chiefs and the Jets are the 2 teams that should be the most serious at this point, and the Chiefs would be a great destination for OBJ, and he could fill an important role like Smith-Schuster did last year and be a guy that you can count on when Travis Kelce is covered, if he's ever covered. That's part of the problem, too, for defenses. There aren't many occasions where you have to worry about covering someone else other than Travis Kelce, because Kelce's the guy who tends to be open and available to make things happen. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.